Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel, and today we're doing video reviews where one person from the panel gets to pick a video and the others discuss it, or we all discuss it, and try to either rip it apart, just dissect it, or justify it, etc. And so we are doing today Iron Maiden, and was it Man on the Edge?
Yes.
Was this the first one with Blaze Bayley?
It was, yeah. I think it was released as a single before the X Factor album.
Okay, because after that one, was it Virus? What was the next one that came on after?
What, single-wise?
Yeah.
I think Virus was like an EP that was released between the two albums, because it doesn't feature as an album track.
How many albums did they do with Blaze Bayley?
Just the two.
Because I remember when Brave New World came out, because Bruce Dickinson rejoined, and that was a big event, wasn't it? I was at Sixth Form College at the time.
But the problem is that Blaze Bayley had a great set of pipes in, was it Wolfbane?
Yeah.
And on the albums for Iron Maiden was great, but he couldn't sing the Bruce Dickinson parts in live. He just couldn't do it. He didn't have the range, and they tried to accommodate. I remember Iron Maiden tried to accommodate parts of it, where they were trying to either pick up parts themselves or they were dropping songs to try and make it easy, which is not a great place to be. But yeah, let's go check out Man on the Edge.
Can I play with Man? It's fucking terrible.
Such a classic Iron Maiden.
But you can tell we're in the 90s with the lighting, can't you? And the colour, the darker colours. Looks like a Queensrÿche video, actually.
It's a tough job for Blaze to come in after Bruce, though.
He would want to do that, yeah. It's like the guy who replaced Rob Alford in Priest. What a tough job.
Classic Iron Maiden riffage. I mean, it's been the first single to come off of a new album. It's a great way to start it off. But you've got to be imagining he's going to be compared to Bruce the whole time. What would Bruce have done?
I mean, Maiden's proto thrash metal, isn't it? As much as anything.
And also, Bruce holds his notes a lot more. Here, Blaze is like choking them back.
And he's not got the same high register, has he? I mean, that would be flat for Bruce Dickinson. He wouldn't sing something like that, would he? It suits this song.
I remember listening to this live in a live performance of this and going, "Oh, Blaze, this is your song. This ain't sounding great, mate." Does Bruce do any of these live off this album?
Yeah, Klansman's still in the set, for example.
Okay. I think I've heard Bruce do this one before.
He would have done sort of
at some point.
Shortly after he rejoined, I'd imagine.
It's got a good high tempo to it, hasn't it?
So this is a weird one with Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden have got so many albums and so many songs, but you distinctly know it's Iron Maiden. And like, it just sounds like every other Iron Maiden song to me. If you listen to it, it comes to me like, they don't need to change after all these albums. They're like, just fucking put the same stuff out again, we'll happily take it.
I mean, I can imagine you seeing On Top of the Pops a number of the B Stage 10. That was a life-changing moment, wasn't it? Because you've never had anything like it. I mean, there would be no Slayer or Metallica without Iron Maiden. We know that. Every thrash band is enamoured with Iron Maiden.
It's powerful, it's great. It's interesting that Blaze Bayley is still out there on the touring circuit. He basically just goes out and plays Iron Maiden songs primarily.
He was headlining a festival.
We'll find me and Carla were going to see Paul Diano in Cambridge in November, I think.
Oh, I saw that he's playing. Yeah.
That'll probably be the majority of Iron Maiden stuff.
Yeah, you'd be disappointed if he didn't play one Iron Maiden song.
More than one.
So this is where there's still only two guitarists, isn't it? Because this is before, and this is where Yannick Gers is getting a lot more time to do solos.
By the way, listen to the standard of those.
Brilliant
listen to the standard of those solos. Incredible. No improvisation there. A lot of thought gone into him.
So here's a question for him then. There's also with Yannick Gers going in. So when you had what's his name came back in?
Adrian Smith.
You got relegated to just being like, and I think he even relished
it. Should be fucking kicked out.
He just started dancing around.
So I don't like Yannick Gers.
Why should he have been? Sorry, say that. Why should he have been?
Doesn't matter.
Iron Maiden don't need three guitarists, do they?
No. But that's why he basically just plays chords. They actually say that while the other two focus on their playing, he gets to spin around and just do loads of crazy shit. Because it doesn't really fucking matter. It doesn't even matter if his fucking guitar's plugged in. He can just go and have fun now. Great job.
See, if someone said, "What's the definition of heavy metal?" using that term, this is it, isn't it? The original term heavy metal We're talking about Priest and Maiden.
Yeah.
I know Sabbath invented the genre, but this is the genre. This is the classic sound of it, isn't it? And look at the influence this has had on 70%
From an
of the
influential style of what, who's influenced more than, as far as styles that have influenced other metal genres or subgenres, you would definitely throw that in there.
I mean, let's be honest, power metal would be nothing without Iron Maiden, would it?
Speed, pace,
Yeah.
harmonisation, solos, dual parts,
Melody
double
as well.
kicks.
Did they ever down-tune the guitars?
No.
They couldn't do, could they?
Okay, there we go. I am Maiden and Man on the Edge. So talk about why you picked that particular one, Andy.
Well, I interpreted the brief as not necessarily my favourite song.
Yeah.
I want to play it. Want you guys tell me what you think about it. I wanted to bring something that would cause or create a discussion and sort of counter opinions because it is one of the tracks from one of the 2 albums that Blaze Bayley filled in for Iron Maiden. And it was a fill-in. He wasn't a replacement. He filled in. Let's be honest.
Not intentionally though.
Yeah.
It was never
in the back of his mind. I bet he didn't know that that they'd drag Bruce Dickinson back. So it's not by far my favourite Iron Maiden song, but I really do like the Blaze albums. I think they're really good.
They are.
I'm this sort of empathetic kind of guy who thinks, well, he's got this gig, he's got the job, and then Dickinson's waiting in for Wings to sort his shit out and stop doing whatever he's doing and come back. So he probably always knew his days were numbered, from the very start. So I brought it in because I thought, I'd be interested to see what other people think of the Blaze albums, what they thought of this particular song, and the sort of treatment the guy got, really, to be honest.
This is the same issue that you have with Judas Priest and Tim Ripper Owens, who came in for Rob Halford.
And he was a fanboy.
He was a fanboy. He was in a covers band or tribute band for Judas Priest, and that's how they found out about him. It's actually the premise for the film Rockstar.
With Mark Wahlberg.
So that's the whole concept for that movie as well. But what I find interesting there is that if you watch the videos of Tim Ripper Owen doing Judas Priest, he's absolutely phenomenal.
He's
but
brilliant,
was never given the fucking chance because everyone was like, we want Rob Halford, and Halford went out and did Halford on the road, and was it Fight was the other band?
Fight was it, yeah.
Halford was a big success. I remember when
he went off and
came
did
out.
that. No one was like going, oh, no, you can't do that. You've got to bring the rest of the Judas Priest guys in there, you fucker Halford. You can't go off and do your band on your own. But Judas Priest were like, no, you can't do that. You can't go and get another person in. So Rob Halford could win it both ways. He could go off and do his own thing and have the fans on his back to bring him in. And I think that's the same problem you've got with Iron Maiden here is Bruce Lee was such an influential. I mean, I don't know if it had the same thing when Paul Di'Anno left and Bruce came in that people were like, "Oh, what are you doing? You can't bring this guy in who was from
different story."
Di'Anno's more
Samson.
like punk, isn't
Samson,
it?
that was it.
Yeah, Di'Anno's more aggressive. It's more punk-like.
But they weren't established anywhere near enough at that point that a lineup change like that because obviously you then had Number of the Beast, which absolutely blew the band up, and then went
certainly in
on.
America.
And then obviously they finished off with Fear of the Dark was Bruce's last album before he went off. And,
and they got to did they get to number 1 with Take Your Daughter to the Slaughter or number 2?
Oh, he wrote that one, didn't he?
I mean,
it was number 1, yeah.
I know a lot of Maiden fans don't like that, but that's an incredible achievement.
Steve Harris doesn't like it.
The release between Christmas and New Year, which is historically low on new releases. They took that opportunity.
But it's an incredible achievement to get to number 1, isn't it?
Terrible song though. I don't like that.
That is the thing. Steve Harris hates Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter because that was something that Bruce wrote and brought in with what's his name? I forgot his name again. The other guitarist.
Yannick Gers.
No, not Yannick. The one that came back in.
Oh, Adrian Smith.
Adrian Smith. So Adrian Smith because Adrian Smith was working on the solos albums with Bruce Dickinson. So he was off doing those as well. So that's why when he went off and did solos, Adrian Smith went with him and did those sort of things. And then you got Yannick came in. So there's a whole fucking weird thing of it. But I think the problem with Blaze Bayley is he came in, no matter if you didn't know about Iron Maiden pre this album, and this had just been a new band, came out, Iron Maiden, Blaze Bayley you never had any historic, you'd be like, fuck, this is a brilliant album.
Good song, that.
Great song. But the problem you've got is in the background, you're going, but it's not Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
Same
and
thing
what would Bruce Dickinson have done on it? And that's why Blaze Bayley had not a fucking fighting chance in hell of ever, unless Bruce Dickinson had given up doing music altogether. The problem was he was doing, Tattooed?
No, he was learning to be a airline pilot as well.
But he was also doing he'd done Tattooed Millionaire, and what was the one he came out? That was pre this.
Don't follow his solo career at all.
But he was off doing these solo albums, and so he was still in the limelight of going, I'm still doing music, guys, and I'm still. And people are like, oh. This is slightly softer, but it's so cool, and we still know you're around. So can't we get you back in Iron Maiden? If you'd just stopped and gone, I'm not doing music anymore, Blaze Bayley would have had a fight in fucking jumps.
I mean, we have examples of this. I'll give my analysis of the song in a moment. Fear Factory. How good is Milo,
Milo's
the new
great.
vocalist? He's better than Burton C. Bell.
Oh yeah.
Like with Tim Ripper Owens, he knows the cadences of voice and he can do it live. Alice in Chains with William Duval, they're actually really good. Obviously, you can't bring Lane back because he died. That song, high tempo, heavy metal, isn't it? Good chorus. I know it straight away. What I've always enjoyed about Iron Maiden is the ultra high standard of guitar playing. Every time I hear one of those songs, it just reminds me of being in a guitar lesson with my former teacher. Mm-hmm. And you know, when you just see the way that they fret the bow, and you're like, oh, will I ever get to that standard? Whenever you watch an Iron Maiden video, is it Yannick Gers the main shredder in that video?
Dave Murray on the second solo.
That just looks like a guitar teacher playing it. Yeah. It's so graceful. I said to you, didn't I? Iron Maiden, for some reason I've just never bothered going through the catalogue. My favourite song is The Evil That Men Do. Did you say that's from The Seventh Son?
Yeah.
Is it called The Seventh Son?
With madness?
Is that on there?
Yeah. Even worse.
I think I would like that album because the singles are awesome. Which is that album that's got that awful song on called Tail Gunner?
No Prayer for the Dying,
oh,
which I really like.
That song is it's crap rock and roll. You're a tail gunner. I was like, what is this? That's a good album. But Maiden, I keep thinking like I've been listening to heavy music since 14 and I'm 41. I just think, well, if I've never really checked them out, is it too late to do it? And it shouldn't be. I'm guessing I wouldn't start with Number of the Beast.
Where do you start?
Where would I start? Which album?
Well,
Somewhere in Time.
I'll tell you which ones to avoid.
No, go ahead. Which ones to avoid then?
Brave New World, Matter of Life and Death.
Which one? Right.
So the albums I like.
What is your favourite?
Senjutsu.
What is your favourite album? I know nostalgically, Number of the Beast, but what is your favourite?
Killers.
And that's Paul Di'Anno,
That's the Paul Di'Anno one.
Fear of the Dark for me.
But for me,
I love that album.
Fear of the Dark, Dance of Death, No Prayer for the Dying. All those, those sort of mid-period Bruce albums. Of course, they've got the classics of the Number of the Beast, Power Slave, Peace of Mind.
Power Slave. Is that a bit more proggy?
I think so. I think Peace of Mind went a bit more prog with their stuff, but I never really got into it. What was one of the albums they started bringing keyboards in? I can't remember which one it was. They started doing a little bit more experimentation on it. They did it for one album, then kind of.
That might have been Dance of Death, I think.
Can't remember. There was one of them that people were like, "Oh, you've gone a little bit off kilt," and I think that was because they had a time frame. They had to get an album done in, if I remember, and they were touring so much they kind of.
Well, Priest did that with that album Turbo, where they were playing guitar synthesizers, weren't they? Not as bad as people think that album. It's not great, but yeah.
Interesting track though.
Yeah, I mean this one, like I say, it's a Blaze one, so it's going to create a discussion, but. It's a typical. I'm guessing it's a Steve Harris one because it
feels like
it's ripped straight from a Hollywood movie, as many of the songs are. Yeah. And I'm surprised looking at that video again that there's not. Perhaps I couldn't get the rights, but there's not clips from the Michael Douglas film.
Oh, which film is it?
Falling Down.
Oh, I love that film, the 1992 one.
Yeah, that's literally what that's.
What?
Start to finish about.
I was talking about that recently in my interview.
I mean, it's in the chorus, Falling Down, but that's what it's about. Man on the Edge. Briefcase.
That's one of my all-time favourite films. I love that
film. Man on the Edge. But yeah.
Hey, buddy, me and you are the same. No, I'm an American. You're a sick asshole. When he's in that army service thing. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, I mean, this and many of the other songs on the X Factor and Virtual 11, I think are really, really good. And I think you've covered the reasons why poor old Blaze didn't extend any further than that. He might have been replaced by somebody else because he hasn't got the range. He hasn't, and you said, Dave, during the video that some of the sort of classic Dickinson songs were dropped from the set or rearranged slightly. I mean, I'll be honest, I have not seen many live Blaze performances.
I looked for them.
Yeah, I need to. Perhaps.
Can you imagine if
the official
Joey
release,
Belladonna from Anthrax, because he leaves Anthrax in '91. Imagine if they'd have brought Joey Belladonna from Anthrax, because he's got the range.
Yeah, but he's another fucking awful singer.
But at least he's high. Can you imagine if they'd have brought him in?
Yeah.
That would have been
he's got a fucking nasally sort of sound.
So Blaze might not be in the band as of today if Bruce Dickinson sort of stepped away from the music industry. He probably would have been replaced by somebody else, but he would have got more. I mean, he had I don't know how long, I think it's about 6-7 years when it made him two albums and tours and everything, but
Jeff Tate from Queensway would have been.
Yeah, there's all manner of numbers who could have filled in, but I think Blaze done a good job, and I think he was a little fairly untreated, and I do really like his albums.
And what album's that called?
X Factor and Virtual 11.
And are we talking like 1995 for one of them?
1995 was this song, yeah.
Right.
But the sales on them were just tanked. People just weren't buying them.
But there was still a touring. I bet they were still selling tickets
They were still selling live tickets. They just weren't selling albums, and so they got to a point where there was an option. And I think Dickinson was open to the idea of coming back, and it was like they knew that was going to make a lot of money, so it just made sense.
Yeah.
And is Brave New World actually shit? Because I've heard the single, The Wicker Man. I like The Wicker Man.
Again,
Blood Brothers.
Again, you get to this period of Iron Maiden, and there's 2 or 3 songs. You know, when we've done an album review, you class it as a stream it because there's some songs you
I think 50% you'll stream it.
Yeah.
It's a stream it or trade it.
Are you saying that they're like 3 out of 10 songs?
It wouldn't be in our ratings. That wouldn't be a stream it for me.
It'd be a trade it.
It'd be a trade it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Do you think it's easier when it's a band you love? It's actually easier to be critical and be brutal, isn't it?
If you know the back catalogue, you know what
shit.
they've achieved.
Yeah.
If you have never heard the album before, then you can only judge it on that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the big difference. So.
If I was to go through how many albums have I got, I haven't. If I had a limited number of songs, if I'd like make an Iron Maiden song with 30 tracks or 40 tracks, there wouldn't be many in from sort of.
It'd be the late 70s, 80s, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you might get like The Wicker Man and Ghost of the Navigator on there, but. I can't tell you any more songs off of Brave New World off the top of my head. You know.
Did you go and see him on that tour? They played MEN Arena, Manchester. Oh no, sorry, you're in the South. It's because I grew up in Lancashire. I remember
I've
Jordan.
seen that many times, to be honest, Kirk.
Have you not?
Not too expensive, the fucking tickets.
Yeah, Prayer for the Dying tour when it came to Cambridge.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Junction.
Corn Exchange.
Anyway, we're digressing.
So we talk all afternoon about Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
There we go, Iron Maiden and Man on the Edge. If you like the video today, please do like, share and subscribe. We'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.